Welcome back to the official review presented by Athlon Sports. Over the weekend, the Washington Nationals made a huge decision, firing both manager Davey Martinez and GM Mike Rizzo just a week before the MLB Draft, where they hold the number one pick. So let's talk about it.
Well, as a Nats fan, do you have a problem with that, or do you like it? What are your thoughts on it?
Listen, this was the decision that needed to be made a long time ago. Davey Martinez has been on borrowed time, honestly, since winning the World Series. In the last 6 seasons, the Washington Nationals have been one of baseball's worst teams, if not baseball's worst teams. I mean, right now they're sitting at 37-53 on year 4 of a rebuild. So it's just like there's no future for this team right now. The future is bleak. I mean, we have guys like James Wood, we have guys like Mackenzie Gore and CJ Abrams who are the core of this team. But beyond that, we have nobody. I agree with the decision to fire both these guys. This decision, Davey Martinez should have been fired probably after the 2018 season, when the Nationals still had Bryce Harper, they had Trey Turner, they had Steven Strasburg, they had Max Scherzer. Oh yeah, and they called up Juan Soto that year, and they won 82 games. That's when he should have been fired. They should have been fired after the Nats went 19-31 in 2019, before going off on one of the greatest runs in baseball history to win the World Series. They won in spite of Davey Martinez. And then since then, he's led this complacency in the clubhouse and the dugout that has been bad, where no one's held accountable, coaches aren't held accountable. In fact, a few weeks ago, Davey Martinez, after a big loss, said, "Don't blame me, blame the players," which is like, what? You're a manager. You take the buck stops with you. It's just he had this air of cockiness and, better than everyone else, that he kind of had this resentment towards his players, especially his Hispanic players. So it kind of was like, I don't know. He was a bad manager. He
Bit of a defense mechanism, maybe. Like, he probably knew deep down, like, I'm not doing good here. I'm 100% on the hot seat. Blame somebody else. Get it off me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So tell me this. Do you have a problem with them firing him a week before the draft? Like, would you have wanted to have the same GM going into the draft, or are you happy that they did it now rather than never?
So Mike Rizzo is famously one of baseball's worst drafters. Famous statistic from the Nats is that they haven't had a draft pick accumulate more than 5 WAR for the team since 2016. So they have been a decade of nothings in the draft. And that includes recent first-round misses like Elijah Green. I mean, I'm not willing to call it yet on Dylan Cruz, but it's clear that other players in that draft class have already played better than him in the major leagues. So Rizzo, I don't think can be trusted with a draft. And it's a little weird to do it a week beforehand, but the right time to do this decision was every day since they could do it. It's never the wrong time to fire these two, because this roster is awful. I mean, Rizzo has built a team, like his successes he built a really successful team for a decade with the Nats. And the way he was able to do it was he was able to win trades and build, get the star talent. They signed Max Scherzer. They, were lucky to draft guys like Strasburg and Harper and Anthony Rendon, who was consensus number 1 before breaking his foot and slipping to number 6. But the problem with the team was he was never able to find the hidden gem talent. And when your budget drives up like it did with the Nats since 2019, since they won the World Series and they lost all that money in the COVID year, and also the team president, the team owner, Ted Lerner, passed away and his son took over, he hasn't been able to build around the margins. He's been spending very poorly on guys and not investing properly in the team. So doing it a week beforehand, the draft, isn't the worst thing, because I don't think he can be trusted with another draft. He's screwed up so many draft classes. That being said, all the people that you're bringing in to run the draft are going to run it the same way he did.
Do you know who will be in charge of making this pick?
Mike DiBartolo is going to be taking over as GM. I don't know who he is. I mean, he was apparently Mike Rizzo's second-hand man for the last decade. So
the argument for keeping around at least some of the people that are left in a front office before a draft is that they've been doing the prep the whole year. I think that's why, for instance, the Raptors fired Masai Ujiri after the draft, which is sort of seen as a weird thing, because it's what, you're gonna have him mess up another draft? but it's also like if they were to let him go at the end of the season or something, it would be more limited time for the new people to be able to get the stuff downloaded to make the right decisions. But I guess with this, it's like if you have the number 1 overall pick, if there's a consensus, then it might matter less.
Yeah, and the thing with this is there isn't the consensus number 1 pick. This is going to rely a lot on scouting. I mean, there's
Ethan Holiday.
There's Ethan Holiday, who's kind of slipped in the people's mocks. There's a couple LSU pitchers who people really like. It's not like a clear and cut number 1 consensus pick. So that's where like you're gonna have to know your stuff if you're gonna make this draft, because it's not like, oh, I can just take this guy and be set. Like, it's not that type of guy, this draft.